Drink this and you will walk. The millionaire thought it was poison until the impossible happened. It was a cold autumn evening when Alexander Kane, a self-made millionaire known for his ruthless business tactics, walked briskly down the hospital corridor. His tailored suit did little to hide the weariness in his eyes. For years, Alexander had lived for money, power, and prestige, but none of that could help his 10-year-old daughter, Emily, who had been paralyzed from the waist down since a tragic car accident 6 months ago. Doctors had tried everything, yet each visit ended with the same heartbreaking words, "I'm sorry, there's nothing more we can do." Tonight was different. A mysterious old man had called Alexander, claiming he had something that could make Emily walk again. Desperate and broken, Alexander had agreed to meet him in a dimly lit cafe across from the hospital. The man was unlike anyone Alexander had ever met. Wrinkled skin, kind eyes, clothes worn from time, and a strange calmness that seemed out of place in the busy city. He placed a small, unmarked glass bottle on the table and whispered, "Drink this, and she will walk." Alexander frowned, suspicion flooding his mind. "What is this? Some scam? Poison?" he snapped, his voice laced with both fear and anger. The old man didn't flinch. "I ask for nothing in return. Just love her, and believe." Alexander stared at the bottle, his mind racing. He was a man of logic, of numbers and deals, not magic. But as he thought of Emily's tear-streaked face every time she saw other children running in the park, his heart broke all over again. He pocketed the bottle, unsure if he would ever dare to use it. Later that night, Emily lay awake in her hospital bed, clutching her favorite stuffed bear. Her big blue eyes looked up at her father as he entered the room. "Daddy," she whispered, "will I ever walk again?" Her voice trembled, filled with a fragile hope that shattered Alexander inside. He pulled out the tiny bottle and held it in his trembling hands. "Sweetheart," he said softly, "someone gave me this, they said it could help." Emily smiled weakly, trusting her father completely. But Alexander hesitated. What if it was poison? What if he hurt her? He was a man used to control, used to making deals with guarantees. This had none. Then Emily, sensing his fear, placed her small hand over his. "Sometimes," she said, "you just have to believe good things can happen." With tears in his eyes, Alexander poured the liquid into a glass of water and handed it to her. Emily drank every drop without hesitation, then closed her eyes and drifted to sleep. Alexander sat by her bedside all night, praying for the first time in decades, not for wealth, not for success, but for a miracle. Morning light crept into the room, and Alexander stirred awake to the sound of laughter. His heart skipped a beat. Emily was standing, by the window, her little feet wobbling but holding her weight. She turned to him with a radiant smile. "Daddy, look. I can walk." Alexander's breath caught in his throat as he rushed to her, dropping to his knees and holding her trembling hands. How is this possible?" he whispered, tears streaming freely down his face. At that moment, the old man appeared in the doorway. Alexander looked up, stunned. Was it magic? Medicine? How did you do this? The man smiled gently. "It wasn't the drink," he said. "It was the faith, the love, and the belief you shared with your daughter. Sometimes, miracles need only a willing heart." And just like that, he walked away, leaving Alexander speechless. From that day on, Alexander was no longer the hard, cold businessman the world knew. He devoted his life to helping children like Emily, funding hospitals, building rehabilitation centers, and supporting families in need. He had learned that true wealth wasn't in his bank account, it was in the moments of kindness, love, and hope that money could never buy. And every time Emily ran to him laughing, Alexander silently thanked the mysterious man who had reminded him that miracles are born not from gold, but from faith and compassion. Sometimes, the impossible happens, when you dare to believe.